Hi and welcome to Irish Insider Live. I'm Alan Joseph, here with Chris Allen and Andrew Owens. We're ready to preview Week 11, Wake Forest. It's senior day. The Deacons are coming to town looking to knock off the 10-0 Irish, who are undefeated, number 3 in the BCS rankings, and playing for a national championship berth. For us, it's also our last home game because we're all seniors, and we're really looking forward to one last time in the stadium and in the student section. So this one's going to be a little bit more of a personal look at our time here in Notre Dame as well, as we celebrate all of the seniors, both on the football team and in the stands.
Right. With this being our last game in the student section, guys, we've spent 4 years pretty closely involved with the football program. What is your favorite memory from the last 4 years?
Well, Chris, I'd say Michigan from this year. The Irish won a tight defensive battle to improve to 4-0, and I think it's when the student body really started to believe that something was special about this team, something was unique. And seeing the post-game atmosphere, it wasn't like anything else I've seen at Notre Dame Stadium in my time here, or even coming before then.
I think I'm also going to have to go with Michigan from this year, but for a little bit of a different reason from Andrew. I think we all watched for 3 years, 3 heartbreaking losses to Michigan in the last 30 seconds or so of the game, and to beat Denard Robinson, who had been sort of a nemesis for the Irish for a while, and the delays and the atmosphere surrounding Manti Te'o was, I think, an incredible moment and one I won't forget for a long, long time.
Guys, my memory actually is a little bit unique. It comes from the Charlie Weis era in 2009. I think a lot of my best memories came from my freshman year when I was first kind of thrown into the Notre Dame football atmosphere. My best memory comes from the road game against Purdue, actually, when the Irish went 3-1, winning on a last-minute touchdown pass on 4th down from Jimmy Clausen to Kyle Rudolph, 2 guys who are now in the NFL. It was my first road game, my first opportunity to go down to a hostile atmosphere with my Notre Dame brethren and sort of enjoy that and bring the brand on the road and win that last-second touchdown. That was an incredible moment. One I haven't, one that really sticks with me to this day.
Well, guys, there obviously have been a lot of players that have gotten a lot of attention this year for what they've done to help build this program back. But there are also a lot of players that haven't gotten a lot of attention. Chris, who do you think of when you think of unsung heroes on this team?
When I think of unsung heroes, I think of a guy who hasn't even seen the field yet. Matt Tanzi is a reserve offensive lineman on the Notre Dame football team. He's been with the program for 3 years as a walk-on. He's been friends with me for longer than even that. And when I look at him, he's the only player on the Notre Dame roster who both plays football and also participates in ROTC program. He's going to move on to the Navy after he graduates. And personally, I've learned a lot from him in terms of commitment, work ethic, things like that. But when you look at guys who don't necessarily get the headlines, but little guys who do the right things and help build the football program, I think Matt is a great example of that. And a lot of the players have probably learned the same things I've learned from him in terms of doing things the correct way.
I can't pick 5 guys, so I'm just going to have to pick one guy from the offensive line, and I'll take Chris Watt. He's been a real revelation on the left side of the offensive line, and there's a reason when the Irish need tough yards. Look at Michigan State, look at Oklahoma this year. They hand the ball off and they run right behind Watt and right behind Zach Martin, who is also over there on the left side. I think not enough can be said about how much the offensive line has improved in 2 or 3 years. I think Chris Watt's a real big reason why, and for that reason, he's my biggest unsung hero, though there are a number.
I'm going to pick someone who's actually only played in 3 games this year, Jamora Slaughter. He came onto the big stage last year and played really well for an emerging defense, and this year he went down against Michigan State with an Achilles injury. And he's been a great mentor for Matthias Farley, Kavari Russell, young guys in the secondary who have really stepped up for the 10-0 Irish.
All right, guys, let's bring our focus back to this weekend. There's still a game to be played, and Wake Forest is coming into Notre Dame Stadium. What do you think the key to this weekend's game is, and how do you see this game unfolding? Chris?
I think absolutely the biggest key to the game this weekend is keeping emotions under control. In the first game of the season this year against Purdue at Notre Dame Stadium, a couple of big players got personal foul penalties. Zach Martin and Manti Te'o, both of them are captains. Uncharacteristically kind of let the emotion of playing in front of their fans at Notre Dame Stadium get to them. That temptation is going to be there this weekend. This is their last time playing on the field, provided Martin doesn't come back for a 5th year. And there's going to be a lot of emotion. Families will be in the stands. Those guys can't let that get to them. What happens between the white lines is still the same game they played since they were kids. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think the guys are probably going to, look to their captains for leadership. I think the team will play pretty disciplined. I don't see this being much of a problem. I think Notre Dame takes the game 33-13, setting up an almost unthinkable scenario, guys, at the beginning of the season. Notre Dame will be headed next week to its biggest rival in that case, with a chance to play for the national championship.
I think Chris is absolutely right about keeping emotions under check. But another thing I would really look for is if the Irish are really able to leave no doubt. Brian Kelly likes to say that style points don't matter in the BCS, and at this point, he's probably right. The Irish need someone to lose, but I think it's still important for the Irish to jump out to an early lead, leave no doubt that they're in control of this game, and be able to enjoy the ride that way. That means in the fourth quarter, you're going to be able to see seniors come onto the field and get some snaps, maybe some guys like Matt Tansey who haven't seen any. And I just think that's really the key to this game. And I, like Chris, think this isn't going to be much of a problem. Wake Forest played the Irish tight last year, but the Irish are a lot better than they were last year, and Wake Forest isn't quite as good. I think Notre Dame cruises to a pretty comfortable victory, 31-10.
And guys, I think we can pretty safely say the defense is going to play well, so it's going to boil down to the offense, whether it's a close game, whether it's a blowout. And whether it's a blowout will mean that Notre Dame scoring touchdowns in the red zone instead of leaving points on the field. 2 weeks ago against Pittsburgh, Brian Kelly said how the offense has left way too many points on the field during the season at home. And if they can get in the end zone a couple times early, put the game away, and just let the seniors enjoy the rest of the game.
Thanks for watching Irish Insider Live. We've got a whole bunch of coverage this week for Senior Day, profiling every single senior on the football team, including a masterpiece article from Andrew Owens on Manti Te'o. Be sure to check it all out on ndsmcobserver.com. For Irish Insider Live with Chris Allen and Andrew Owens, I'm Alan Joseph. Thanks for watching.